Hey, this is Lewis Porter Jr. Looking at Minia's previews, realizing some stuff I've got to buy. And there's one thing in particular I've got to buy. Oh, that's right. Pathfinder Ultimate Magic. That would be mine soon. But I'm not talking about what's going on here, which is some good stuff. Actually, they got a lot of good stuff this month from the guys at Paizo. I'm surprised there's so much stuff coming out from Paizo. Like, see, I wasn't planning to do this. I was going to be talking about, hate to say it like this, but it's true, how to avoid getting razor coasted. But we'll start with this first. Cobalt Quarterly, coming out with their product from Green Ronin and them, their Freeport Dark Deeds and Freeport supplement. Also, their Complete Advanced Feat supplement, which I guess they're doing all the stuff they put on a PDF, they're collecting, putting as a book. Good choice, good deal. What are this fun stuff? And for Paizo, the Chase deck cards, which I've been kind of interested about. I think it's a cool concept. I've always liked the concept. Even when I was doing Haven City of Violence, and we did our little driving chase thing. That's basically out of that, the guys from Spycraft built that, and it's been twisted and manipulated in so many different ways. It's crazy. So I'm definitely interested in seeing that. Flip mat, whatever. I'm not picking up flip mats. Dungeon of Glorian. I don't know. Maybe. I don't know. Academies of Secrets. I don't need another module. I got too many of those. Venture Path, Tyrion Crown Part 4. Wake of the Watcher. Could be good. I like the mock-up, though. The mock-up's nice. So. And then Pathfinder Tales, The Warwound Gambit, Robin Laws. Probably going to be done very well. And they've got like another Save Dr. Locky board game. A lot of stuff coming out. This is for March, so this is probably June. No, sorry. So, wow, May. Stuff shipping in May. So I'm doing this video really due to the events that have happened recently at Razor Coast, Nick Logue, and all that stuff. And people said, some people said that I was kicking a dead horse. I was kicking a man who's down, and you know, all this stuff. And my favorite quote so far is from a gentleman who's anonymous, who put crabs in a bucket. Well, here's a little piece of information. If you take money and don't put out a product, that's wrong. Pretty simple. I don't have to get real more inventive about that one. I've never worked with Nick. I know Nick's a good writer. I've seen his stuff. I know we were supposed to work together on our Sidetrack Adventure piece. And, you know, timing just happened. We missed it, and that's what happened. And, you know, the 3-year development of this whole Razor Coast, and I'm going to call it fiasco, but that's kind of what it is. You know, that's a lot of time that, you know, could have been spent in different ways for people. I mean, a lot of people who did the pre-order because they trusted them, and hey, that's nothing wrong with that. You know, I would like you to order my stuff and pre-order my stuff, but I don't do pre-orders. I'll talk about that in a second. But if you're going to take the money and not deliver the product in 3 years and have your website go down, you know, all you're really doing, I mean, and this sounds, you know, what it is, you can take it for what it is. It's bad that he did that. It's even worse if people are going to think about third-party publishers and make that connection. Because they're going to say, oh, you know, third-party guys. Those third-party guys, they're not real publishers. They're not, you know, they're not legitimate. And, you know, that didn't help. Not at all. And some people will, you know, not make the connection. But some people will. And that's going to cost some people's sales. And, you know what? Some of those people will be me. Sounds a little greedy? Yeah. But is it true? Yeah. I mean, it's not like he's never written adventures before. It's not like he's never done this stuff before. I mean, things happen, and I understand that. I mean, look, you know, when I started, if we're talking about when Razor Coast started, April Fool's 2008, I was engaged to be married, living on my own, still in my apartment. What was I working with? I was working for a small company. You know, my life was very different then than it is now. And things happen and things change. I got a wife, got a kid, got a mother-in-law living with me, got my own house, you know, I'm working, totally different location. You know, it's life, things happen. But if you take money for it, you gotta produce a product or you gotta get the money back. And he might have given the money back, but I've heard some people say they didn't get their money back. You know, what do you say to that? I mean, you see the stuff in the forums. That's what's going on there. I'm just saying, from my own personal mindset, I think it was a great opportunity that got squandered by somebody who a lot of people liked. I mean, like, holy cow, man! So many people liked the concept, liked what he was doing, loved the cover. I mean, from a publisher standpoint, I'm like, wow, he's really doing everything right. And then he does his indulgences, and they came out. I'm like, wow, this is perfect. This is exactly what people are looking for. And then it just became a fiasco. I don't want to sound like a bad guy and say, oh, you should have done this, but, you should have at least done something. And even at the minimum, and this is the thing that really irks me the most, on the Paizo boards, people are asking, where's Nick, where's going on, da-da-da-da. Lou Agresta put a post and, hey, I've talked to Nick, and he's aware of this stuff, and blah, blah, blah. And the first thought that went through my mind was, why the hell is Nick posting this? Why is Lou posting stuff for Nick? And I think that's really the part that pissed me off the most. It's like, dude, you took the money. At least have the common decency to talk to the people whose money you took. I mean, I'm just like, and if it hurts, yeah, it's gonna hurt. You effed up. I F up, I F up a lot. I F up a whole lot. Just accept it. Hey, I effed up. I'm totally responsible. The buck stops here. My name's on the company. If you want to blame somebody, you're blaming me. That's my job. That's what I do. That's why my name's on the company. And he hasn't done that. And it's kind of sad. It's kind of sad that he hasn't done that. But he's got to live his own battles. He's got to do his own thing. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm still kind of, I got to admit, I was kind of interested to see what he was going to put out. I think it was going to be really, really good. Just sad it's all had to come like this. What else is going on? Well, we're putting out... we just put out Caliban today. For people who want to know, for NeoExodus. Next week, we're probably putting out Enemies of NeoExodus, The Folding Circle. Or probably putting out Secret Societies of NeoExodus, The Sanguine Covenant. Or probably putting out Enemies of NeoExodus, the first ones. I don't know what we're putting out. We're putting out something. That's all I know. It's going to be a big book. Big PDF. If it's, let's start with the one I know. If it's Folding Circle, it's roughly about, Folding Circle is about 80 pages. We give you 5 of the main villains. We give you 5 CRs for each villain, ranging from, I think the lowest is 3, and the top one is 25 CR. So you can mix them and match them what you need. We also include 2 more associates of the Folding Circle, the group. And then we have 7 more characters that are also associates of the Folding Circle through one of the main characters. I'm sure you've seen our wanted posters that we put out on some of our products. Each one of those is a member of the Folding Circle. So if you see anything we've done, you keep seeing it over and over. Big stone guy that everybody says, boom. Main leader, Makesh. He's in there. He's fully statted out, and I'm sure several of you will have a great time using him in your campaigns and killing your PCs, or not, PCs running from him or being scared or getting the ass kicking. But whatever it is, hey, enjoy yourself. I think it's a nice piece. It's done by a lot of people who really enjoyed working on it, and it fits in really, really well with the setting. I'm planned to get the review copies out soon, so they'll have at least some time to look at it and get a good look. But that's all we're doing here. We've got some more plans. I've got to start planning for the releases from August through January, and I did an initial thing in my lovely little notepad. Best piece of advice I can ever give you: carry on a notepad, a pen, and a pocket knife. 3 things you should always have. I don't have my pocket knife anymore, but I just don't have it anymore. Pen, something to write with, something to write on, and a pocket knife. That's everything you need in life. That's how MacGyver does it. That's how you should do it. So all I know is we're going to be doing some monthly releases of Enemies of NeoExodus, which I don't know what they will be, but they'll be monthly. Monthly versions of monsters. Yes, we have several monsters we want to do, including our Slishi, which is our Gillmen, but we want to do something kind of cool with them, so we got to work with that. We're also going to be putting out most likely a monthly gear book or equipment book. Stuff that you can use in your NeoExodus setting, but also you can fit in regular Pathfinder games. But there's going to be some stuff that's specifically for NeoExodus. That's going to be starting soon. Something that I've always talked about doing, but now finally figured out that we will be doing, is we're going to be doing small, and I use the word small PDFs, so you know I mean even smaller than what you think. 1 or 2 page PDFs. And this is going to be probably most likely a bi-monthly series from something I thought of a long time ago, and you see referenced in when we're doing 3.5 for NeoExodus. We have a book. It's our Evil Deeds book, but it's called the Book of Woe. We have a Book of Knowledge, the good book, and the Book of Woe, the evil book. And I always said, like, wow, if I was a really evil guy, I'd have a huge book. I mean, I have a big, like, super Bible-sized book, and all the evil things you can do. Just it's a Book of Wild Darkness, but even more. And my thing would be, well, I think people would tear pages out of the book that they want. Like, oh, here's a page on something I really want to do. Well, I don't need the whole book, but it's, like the Necronomicon. I don't need the whole book. Let me cut these pages out. So we're kind of doing that same series called The Lost Pages of the Book of Woe. And I'm trying to keep this to be, like, super cheap. How cheap? We're talking like 50 cents a piece of paper. I'm talking 50 cents. 2, 3 pages tops. Nothing more than that. I mean, this is going to be something specifically for NeoExodus. And some of it's going to be pretty horrible. It's going to be sometimes monsters, sometimes really cool spells, sometimes stuff. And the cool thing is that all the pages won't be in order. So you might get 1 page with one super cool thing, and then 1 page of something that starts really cool, but the other page is somewhere else. So it's like, hey, this is the coolest of spells, and here's a cool monster. Oh, this is a great picture, and where's the next page? Yeah, I know. It sounds crazy, but something we've been trying to do for a long time. But I don't know if it's going to work out. But I'm talking those pages maybe 50 cents, maybe even 25. I don't even know. But that's just something to think about. We're also going to start doing our quarterly Empires of NeoExodus, since we have, 5 really major empires and several minor ones we'll be talking about. So you start seeing more of that kind of stuff. Plus, for some crazy reason, blame Paizo, blame anybody who's thought about doing an adventure path, we may or may not be doing an adventure path. I still don't know. I don't know. But if we do one, we do it. If we don't, we don't. But I'd like to do one. I have one that I've always wanted to do. What makes it kind of cool, it's a crossover adventure path between NeoExodus and Obsidian Twilight. And it's called The Cross of Fire, and I've been thinking about it for a long, long time, and I've wanted to do it, but finding the right writers for it, finding every artist, I don't know. It might just be just a dream that I'm going to be sticking with, but one day you're going to see it. But I don't know if it's going to be this year, but we are going to be doing some adventures. JP is giving us some cool adventures. Origin of Man, which we're putting out probably with the core rulebook when we release it in August. Plus, we're going to be beating him to do some more stuff. It just happens to be that way. So, that's about it for me. Do I have anything that you need to know about? Anything you should be reading? No. Oh, well. Loving this book. The artwork is beautiful. Finally got to meet Phil Jimenez face-to-face this weekend at the Miami Comic-Con. Was fantastic. That too. Maybe next time I'll tell you about how to get a good artist, or tell you some other cool stuff, or maybe get off my soapbox about the whole Razor Coast thing. Yeah, I'm going to be on that one for a while. Oh, by the way, before I forget, Goodman Games is going to be doing his X-Crawl, his 3.5 X-Crawl series, now for Pathfinder. Yeah, I guess that 4E money is a little funny. But I digress. But it's good that he's seeing the interest in Pathfinder, and I've said in other videos that I see more people moving towards doing more Pathfinder stuff. But as long as it helps build the brand, helps get the word out there in Pathfinder, I don't care. I don't care. You do the world you want to build, I'll build the world I want to build. We can all exist. Little kumbaya. You can all have a good time and be happy. That's what I'm seeing. Alright. I'm out of here. I gotta go eat some food. I'll talk to y'all later. Bye.